Hi, 8th graders. Hope you are looking forward to Monday. Tomorrow, I'm obviously filming this on Sunday evening, so hope to get it up sooner, but I took the weekend, like I'm sure you did, to get rest and get re-energized. Anyway, I'm on page 11. This is lesson 3. Because it's an odd lesson, I'll be helping you with analogies on page 127, I believe. So on page 11, our first word is epitaph. Epitaph is a noun. Now, if we were to go to a cemetery, you would see many epitaphs on the tombstones. These are brief little descriptions. Here lies so-and-so, loving mother, a friend, this sort of thing. These are brief descriptions. So I think in a commercial, the pizza commercial, what do you want on your tombstone? Well, an epitaph is what people would have on their tombstone. Now, you don't have to be dead to have a little epitaph, and it's just a brief description of someone, okay? And it's a noun. The second word is evasive. Evasive is an adjective, and I'm thinking about when you guys up at LBR, when you guys were playing Capture the Flag, some of you were trying evasive maneuvers, meaning you were trying to avoid getting caught. You might run around a tree or a bush, so the person who is chasing you cannot run through that, or they'd have to go around. So some sort of trick to avoid getting caught. That would be evasive. Okay? Once again, adjective. Our next word, evoke. Evoke is a verb, and it falls in line with the words like provoke, invoke. This is evoke, and evoke, this verb means to cause something to come out of someone, to either call it forth or to bring it out by some action or some statement. I'm thinking of some movies evoke an emotional reaction. Some news stories evoke an emotional response. Some of the finishes of races at the Olympics, the guy from, I think it was from South Africa, who had the prosthetic legs, that certainly evoked an emotion in anybody who watched him, certainly with the people who competed with him. So evoke is a verb. Okay? Our next word is foreshadow. Now, this is a word you should be familiar with. We hear it in literature when a certain action may foreshadow what's going to happen later on in the story. So, foreshadow is a verb. Remember last year when I described it in short story class, I told the story of the ambitious guest and all the irony with that, and that was the one with the avalanche, and everybody thought they were running to the safe house, and all the rocks landed on the safe house. Well, at the beginning of the story, a couple of rocks are tossed down. The author, Nathaniel Hawthorne, describes it that the mountain, she would toss a few rocks down to remind the people in that lodge that she was there. That's foreshadowing. It's hinting at the beginning of the story what's going to happen later on. Okay, and that is a verb. Our fifth word is also a verb, infer. Now, infer, basically it means to come to a conclusion, all right? You conclude based on observation. You observe something happening, and you could infer then, based on that observation, you could conclude that something was the way it was. So, for instance, watching the people come in, watching all the students come in after our first evening session, and everybody was so dirty. I could infer, based on observing that, I could infer that it was very dusty and people had been playing hard, running around in the dirt. Okay? Those are some inferences or conclusions that I could come to. All right? So infer means to conclude based upon, observation. We talk about inferences and inferring a lot in literature. If we read something, like reading To Kill a Mockingbird, if you've been reading in that, there are some definite inferences that you can make about the community in which Scout and Jem and Dill are growing up. Some of the inferences that you can make may have to do with the community's prejudices, maybe their economic status. All right, these are different conclusions that you can come to based on what you read. There are clues that authors will put in their writing to help readers draw inferences. Okay, so another way to use the word. Our next word, laudable. The able ending and obviously makes it an adjective. So we break it down to its noun form, and that's laud. We hear that word in church when we give praise, laud, and glory to God. Laudable would be synonymous with praiseworthy, worthy of honor, worthy of glory. So if something is laudable, it's worthy of some praise. It's worthy of some recognition and positive recognition. It's commendable. Okay, that's, laudable means. Our seventh word, lucid. Lucid is an adjective. And lucid is, hopefully these lessons are lucid. Hopefully I'm being lucid when I explain these words to you. Lucid means clear, easily understood. Sometimes, and really this happens during the summer and around the holidays, when there are a lot of people out on the road and when there's possible partying activity. Policemen will set up these little checkpoints, and they will stop drivers. All the drivers, you'll just have them come in, and they'll go through this line, and they'll ask the drivers if they've been drinking, and they will check their lucidity. Check to see if they are lucid, if they are clear, if they are easily understood. if their speech is kind of, you know, slurring, or they're fumbling over words, that is a sign that they may not be lucid, that they may in fact have been drinking. Alright? So lucid means clear. Also, if somebody has been drinking, their eyes might be, you could kind of tell somebody's vision might not be clear, or their eyes might be bloodshot. Their eyes may not be lucid. Okay, they might have trouble focusing. So once again, that's lucid. Our eighth word is perpetuate. Perpetuate, and perpetuate is a verb. The adjective form, and I think you're probably more familiar with the adjective form, is perpetual. And have you ever seen on somebody's desk in an office a perpetual motion gadget, like the balls, where you start one ball and it hits back and forth? That's a perpetual motion object. And perpetuate means to start something and it keeps going, alright, for the purpose of getting it and keeping it going, okay? It can be a positive thing, okay? When you say something positive to someone and somebody else picks up, ooh, it starts, it perpetuates positive talk. Right? It can also be negative. All right, if you perpetuate something negative, that also can continue on. All right, so perpetuate means to start something with the intent of having it continue. All right. Scrutinize. Scrutinize is our ninth word. Scrutinize is a verb, and scrutinize is to look at something very closely, to form some sort of criticism. Now, criticism isn't bad. You know, criticism is meant for good and bad. Or good, it's meant for good, but it's meant for to give laudable feedback, but also helpful feedback. So to have, for instance, if I scrutinize your paper, I'm going to look at it carefully to see if there were mistakes made and to help you correct mistakes. Alright, so scrutinize is to look at something very carefully for a purpose of critiquing. Okay? And our last word, symposium, is a noun. Symposium, I think, I guess maybe there's another noun on here. Yeah, first and last word are nouns. Symposium is a very specific conference about a specific topic. All right. So if I'm going to go to discuss writings or different articles on or different critiques on the Legend of Beowulf. That's pretty specific. Only a handful of people might want to go to that symposium. The topic is very specific and meant for a specific group. That's a symposium. So it's not like a conference where there's very general topics of discussion. A symposium is rather specific in what is being discussed. All right, and really only interesting to perhaps a select few. Okay, that's a symposium. All right, I'm going to turn, and hopefully you will also turn to page 127. It's lesson 2 on analogies, and I'll help you with the main analogy. Number 1, brevity is a noun, shortness is a noun. Alright? In brevity, you could see the word brief, that's the adjective form. In shortness, you can see the word short, which is the adjective form. So working with them in their adjective form might help you a little bit better. Number 2, connotation is a noun, suggest is a verb, is a verb. Now, you have 2 choices then, action, object, or function. Think back when we discussed connotation in poetry, all right? We had denotation, which was the definition of the word, and connotation, which created or evoked emotions when hearing the words, because suggestions, it would suggest emotions or images in our minds. The connotative words or connotations suggest, that's their sole function. Okay? Number 3, embellish is a verb, simplify is a verb. Embellish, I like to embellish on stories, give a bunch of details. I'm not too good at simplifying. Number 4, epithet is a noun, describe is a verb. Number 5, evoke is a verb, summon is a verb. Number 6, foreshadow is a verb, foreshadow in this one, this isn't really a great analogy. In this one, they're using foreshadow as a noun and anticipation as a noun. Go noun in a noun. Let me give you a template here. Foreshadowing causes anticipation. Number 7, imbibe is a verb. Beverage is a noun. Okay. Number 8, laudable is an adjective. Virtue is a noun. Number 9, nostalgic is an adjective. Daydreamer is a noun. And number 10, reiterate is a verb. Repeat is a verb. Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing you on our first week of first full week of school. I had a great time at the retreat. I hope you did as well. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow, 8th graders. Bye now.